teenager helped a lost old man find his home. The man left her family a fortune. The rain had started just before sunset. By 7
You
o'clock,
shouldn't be standing
the
out
small
here in
town
the
of
rain.
Brookdale was almost
Are you all
empty.
right?
Most
I'm
stores had
fine,
closed.
thank you.
Cars moved
The bus will
slowly
be
through
here
the wet
soon.
streets, their headlights reflecting off the pavement. The wind pushed fallen leaves along the sidewalks, and thunder rumbled somewhere beyond the hills. 17-year-old Lily Carter pulled her hood over her head and hurried home. She had just finished her shift at a small bakery downtown. It wasn't much of a job, but Lily needed the money. Her family was struggling. Her father, James, had lost his construction job several months earlier after the company he worked for closed. Her mother, Susan, worked part-time at a nursing
When I
home,
first started this
but her
firm,
salary
I never
barely
imagined it
covered
would grow into
groceries and
this.
utilities. They
Finding
lived
the
in a
right
small
successor
rented
has
house
been
at
my
the edge of
greatest
town.
challenge.
There were weeks
When I first started
Lily
this firm,
pretended
I
she
never
wasn't
imagined it
hungry,
would grow into
so her
this.
younger brother could have
Finding
more
the right
food.
successor
She
has
never
been my
complained
greatest
about it.
challenge.
She simply tried to help. As Lily walked past the old community park, she noticed someone standing near the bus stop. It was an elderly man. He looked completely lost. He wore a dark brown coat that was far too thin for the cold weather. His gray hair was wet from the rain, and he held a small leather briefcase tightly against his chest. Lily slowed down. The man looked at a piece of paper. Then he looked around. He seemed confused. Lily continued walking. Then she stopped. Something about the man bothered her. He looked frightened. She turned around. "Sir?" The old man looked up. "Yes. Are you okay?" He smiled nervously. "Yes, I'm Fine." Lily glanced at the paper in his hand. "Are you lost?" The man hesitated. "I think I am." Lily smiled. "Where are you trying to go?" The man unfolded the paper. "My house." Lily almost laughed. "Your house?" "Yes. Do you know the address?" The man looked at the paper again. 42. Something. He frowned. "I can't remember." Lily realized something was wrong. "Do you have your phone?" The man searched his pockets. "No." "Do you know your name?" He looked surprised. "Of course." Then he paused. "Arthur." "Arthur what?" The old man became silent. "I can't remember." Lily's smile disappeared. She looked around. There was nobody else nearby. "Do you remember anything?" Arthur looked toward the road. "I remember coming to Brookdale." "Why?" "To see my house." "What house?" "My old house." He looked increasingly confused. Lily gently asked, "Do you have anyone I can call?" Arthur shook his head. "My family is gone." Lily didn't know what to do. She could walk away. She could call the police. But the rain was getting heavier, and the old man was clearly frightened. "Come with me," Lily said. Arthur looked at her. "Where?" "There's a police station 2 blocks away." He shook his head. "No police." "Why?" "I don't want trouble." "You won't be in trouble." Arthur looked at her uncertainly. Lily took out her phone. "I'll help you find your home." Arthur stared at her. "Why?" Lily shrugged. "Because you're lost." It seemed like such a simple answer. But neither of them knew how much that decision would change their lives. Lily searched the internet for addresses matching the information Arthur could remember. She asked him questions. "What does your house look like?" "White." "Anything else?" "A large oak tree." "Garage." "Yes." "2 floors." Arthur nodded. "Maybe." Lily laughed softly. "That's not very specific." Arthur smiled. "I'm sorry." "Don't be." They began walking. Lily checked maps on her phone. After nearly 20 minutes, Arthur suddenly stopped. "There." He pointed toward a narrow street. "I know this place." Lily followed him. The houses became older. The street was quiet. At the end stood an abandoned-looking house. Its windows were dusty. The grass was overgrown. A large oak tree stood in the front yard. Arthur stared at it. "This is it." Lily looked at the address. 42. Arthur's eyes filled with tears. "I remember." He walked slowly toward the front door. But it was locked. He reached into his pocket. Nothing. No key. Lily looked around. "Do you know where the key might be?" Arthur pointed toward a flower pot. "Under there." Lily moved the pot. There was a small metal key underneath. She smiled. "You remembered." Arthur took the key with trembling hands. He unlocked the door. The house smelled old and dusty. Arthur stepped inside. Then he stopped. He looked around. His face changed. Lily could see memories returning. "My mother used to sit there." He pointed toward an old chair. "My father built that fireplace." He walked toward the living room. On the wall were several faded photographs. Arthur stared at one. A young man stood beside a beautiful woman. Lily looked at the photograph. Is that you? Arthur nodded. I was 23. He smiled. I had hair back then. Lily laughed. Arthur laughed too. For the first time, he seemed less confused. Then he walked toward a wooden cabinet. He opened it. Inside were dozens of old documents. He pulled out one folder. His hands began shaking. I remember now. What? Everything. Arthur sat down. Lily brought him a glass of water. He looked at her. You helped me find my home. Lily smiled. I'm glad. Arthur studied her carefully. What is your name? Lily. Lily what? Carter. Arthur repeated the name. Carter. Then he looked at her strangely. Who is your father? Lily frowned. James Carter. Arthur's expression changed completely. James Carter? Yes. Where does he work? He doesn't right now. Arthur stared at her. Your father lost his job? Yes. Arthur leaned back. He seemed shocked. Does he still live in Brookdale? Yes. Arthur looked toward the old photographs. Then back at Lily. Your father never told you about me? No. Interesting. Lily became curious. Do you know my father? Arthur smiled sadly. I knew him a long time ago. Lily called her father. Dad. Lily? Where are you? I'm with someone. Who? An old man named Arthur. There was silence. Then James asked, Arthur what? Arthur Bennett. The silence became longer. Lily frowned. Dad. Her father's voice suddenly changed. Where are you? 42 Oak Street. Stay there. What? Do not leave. What? I'll be there in 10 minutes. James arrived 15 minutes later. The moment he saw Arthur standing in the doorway, he froze. Arthur looked at him. James. James couldn't speak. Then he walked forward. The two men shook hands. But there was something emotional in the way they looked at each other. You're alive, James whispered. Arthur smiled. So are you. Lily stared at them. What is going on? James looked at his daughter. I didn't know Arthur was back in town. Arthur laughed. Neither did I. James looked confused. Arthur explained that he had been traveling for years. He had built a business after leaving Brookdale. He had become successful, very successful. But after his wife died, he had started returning to places from his past. He had come back to Brookdale to sell his childhood home. But he had gotten confused after leaving the bus. His memory had failed him temporarily. And Lily found me. James looked at his daughter. You helped him. She did more than help me, Arthur said. She walked through the rain with me. James smiled. That sounds like Lily. Arthur nodded. She didn't know who I was. Why would that matter? It doesn't. Arthur looked at Lily. That's why it matters. The next morning, Lily expected everything to return to normal. But it didn't. When she woke up, there were 3 black cars parked outside her family's house. Her father was standing in the kitchen. Her mother was crying. Lily walked downstairs. What happened? Her father turned toward her. Arthur came to see us. Why? James handed her an envelope. What is this? Open it. Inside was a letter. Lily began reading. Dear Lily, last night, you helped me when you had no reason to. You didn't know my name. You didn't know my history. You didn't know what I owned. You simply saw an old man who needed help. That kindness reminded me of someone I knew many years ago. Your father. Lily looked up. Arthur had continued. James once worked for me when he was young. He was one of the most honest people I ever met. When my company was struggling, he refused to take money that wasn't his. I never forgot that. I lost touch with him after leaving Brookdale. Now I have found him again because of you. Lily looked at her father. You work for him? James nodded. A long time ago. How long? Almost 20 years. Lily continued reading. Your family has been struggling, and I know you would never ask for help. So I'm offering it anyway. Her hands began trembling. I am placing the old family property at 42 Oak Street into your family's name. Lily looked up. What? Her mother covered her mouth. The letter continued. I'm also establishing a trust of $1 million for your family. Your father may use it to rebuild his career or start a business. Lily's education will be fully funded. Lily couldn't breathe. $1 million? For her family? She looked at her father. Dad. James was crying. I don't know what to say. Lily kept reading. This isn't payment for helping me. Kindness should never have a price. I'm doing this because I want to give your family the opportunity one once had. and because I believe your character deserves to be rewarded." At the bottom was a final sentence. Lily never stopped being the person who helped a lost old man find his way home. The news changed the Carter family overnight. James used part of the money to start a small construction company. Within a year, he employed 15 people from Brookdale. Susan left her second job and began working full-time at a local community center. Lily continued school, but she didn't become spoiled. She still worked at the bakery. She still helped her neighbors. She still bought inexpensive clothes. When friends asked why she didn't suddenly live like a millionaire, she simply smiled. "My parents taught me that money can disappear." What doesn't? Character. Arthur became a regular visitor to the Carter family. He and Lily developed a special friendship. They talked about books. They went fishing. They visited the old house together. One afternoon, Arthur gave Lily a small wooden box. "What is this?" "Open it." Inside was an old photograph. It showed Arthur as a young man standing beside another young man. Lily recognized her father. "What?" Arthur smiled. "This was taken the year your father started working for me." Lily looked at the photograph. "You were friends?" Arthur nodded. "Very good friends." "What happened?" "Life." Arthur looked toward the window. "People move. Families grow. Businesses become complicated." He sighed. "But sometimes life gives you a second chance." Lily smiled. "Like when I found you." "Exactly." Several years passed. Lily graduated from college. She became a social worker. Her work focused on helping elderly people who lived alone. Arthur was proud. One evening, Lily visited him. He was sitting in the garden of his restored childhood home. "You're late," he joked. "I had work." "You always have work. You're the one who taught me to help people." Arthur smiled. "Did I?" "Yes." He looked at her. "No, Lily." "What?" "You already knew how." Lily sat beside him. Arthur handed her an envelope. She frowned. "What now?" "Open it." She shook her head. "Every time you give me an envelope, something crazy happens." Arthur laughed. "Just open it." Lily did. Her eyes widened. "What is this?" Arthur had donated a large portion of his fortune to create a community foundation, and he had named Lily as its director. The foundation would help elderly people, struggling families, and young people who needed educational opportunities. "You're giving me this?" Arthur nodded. "I want you to continue what you started. But this is huge." "I know. I don't know if I'm ready." Arthur smiled. "You help a lost old man find his home." He looked at her. "I'm pretty sure you're ready." Years later, Lily would tell people that the night she met Arthur was the night her life changed. But she always corrected them. "My life didn't change because he was rich." She would smile. "My life changed because I learned that helping someone can create consequences you could never imagine." Sometimes those consequences are money. Sometimes they are opportunities. Sometimes they are friendships. And sometimes they change an entire family. Arthur lived another decade. During those years, Lily visited him regularly. They became like family. When Arthur finally passed away peacefully at the age of 89, Lily stood beside his grave. Hundreds of people attended the funeral. Business leaders, community members, former employees, families he had helped. But Lily remembered something much simpler. A rainy evening, a bus stop, an old man holding a leather briefcase, and a girl who decided not to walk away. After the funeral, Lily returned to Arthur's house. There was one final letter waiting for her. She opened it. "Dear Lily, if you're reading this, I'm probably no longer here. Don't be sad for me. I had a long life. I made mistakes. I lost people I loved. I built businesses. I made money. But none of those things mattered as much as the people I met along the way. The night you found me, I had forgotten where I belonged. You helped me find my house. But the truth is, you helped me find something more important. You reminded me that I still belong somewhere. With people, with family, with a community. And I want you to remember something. The fortune I left your family was never the greatest gift. The greatest gift was the example you gave me. You helped someone when nobody was watching. Never stop doing that. With love." Arthur. Lily folded the letter carefully. She looked around the old house. Then she smiled through her tears. Arthur had left her family a fortune, but he had also left them something far more valuable. A responsibility to help others, to give people second chances, to never judge someone by their appearance. and to remember that a single act of kindness can travel farther than anyone expects. Lily had been 17 when she found Arthur. She had no idea he was wealthy. She didn't know he had built a successful company. She didn't know he would change her family's future. She simply saw an old man who was lost, and she helped him find his way home. Years later, when people asked Lily how she became the director of $1 million foundation, she always told them the same story. I didn't do anything extraordinary. They asked me how. She would smile. I just stopped walking. Stopped walking. Yes. I saw someone who needed help, so I stopped. And that was the entire beginning. One teenager, one lost old man, one rainy night, one simple act of kindness, and a future neither of them could have imagined. Because sometimes the person standing on the side of the road isn't just a stranger. Sometimes they're carrying a story. Sometimes they're carrying a second chance. And sometimes they're carrying a fortune that will change your family's life forever.